All right, so we're going to look now at the link between enterprise value, free cash flow, and value. So we go back over here, and so we got our definition of free cash flow here. And so this is this is our measure of estimate of free cash flow. Okay, and this is just our weighted average cost of capital minus the growth rate, and that's our estimate of enterprise value. So this is going to be important. This is going to be the way we're going to define enterprise value. EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate minus net assets times G, that's free cash flow. And then in the new denominator, we have weighted average cost of capital minus G. And so it's a reformulation of what we have up here. All right, now if we take enterprise value and we pull out net assets, in other words, I take net assets out from up here, what I wind up with is EBIT divided by net assets, okay, minus G, again. So I've pulled this out. I've pulled net assets out. So in doing that, I wind up with just EBIT divided by net assets. All right, that's going to be very useful for us, okay, because you can see where I'm going and pulling net assets out. And if we look over here, we see that we have EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate divided by net assets. Well, guess what? Okay, guess what? Okay, well, guess what? EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate divided by net assets is in fact just a definition of return on invested capital. All right, so this is the way we're going to use this. All right, so now we've got enterprise value equal to this. We have a definition of return on invested assets equal to this. So if what I do is I take this, okay, and substitute in return on invested assets for that, what I wind up with is the enterprise value of a firm is equal to net assets times return on invested capital minus the growth rate, or weighted average, and divided by weighted average cost of capital minus the growth rate. Aha. Now we begin to see what can affect enterprise value. Goes back. If return on invested capital, okay, is greater than the weighted average cost of capital, okay, enterprise value is going to be higher. If return on invested capital is equal to the weighted average cost of capital, okay, enterprise value basically the same. Return on invested capital, okay, less than weighted average cost of capital, okay, we're going to be enterprise value down. So here we're creating value, okay, here we're destroying value, okay. And it gets back to a lot of what we have talked about before. Firms create value by earning more than the required rate of return. So if the return on invested capital is higher than weighted average cost of capital, they're creating value, okay. So